The Bar Group, raising the bar in real estate. Your Lake Highlands, Lakewood, Preston Hollow pros. You can find them at thebargroup.com. Unparalleled customer service for your real estate needs. The Bar Group.
Coming through.
Very traumatic. There's kind of a traumatic situation that happened on court today. I mean, I have nothing against boys or girls or boys, whatever. But we have two sons. We have my wife and I do, and you know, we're idiots. But we had a really dramatic moment on the court, the pickleball court this morning. I'm going to say this individual's name. Her name is Margaret, and they're beginners, and we're hitting slow. We're trying to rally, and she screams, and she looks down. She broke her thumbnail. Oh, she was traumatized. And I gave her so much hell for that. And she's laughing the whole time. I go, "You're serious complaining about this?" She goes, "It's my nail." I said, "Is it falling? It can't get up?" She goes, "You're a jerk." I said, I know. I'm just kidding. I love you, Margaret. But anyway, that's how my day started. She broke a nail. I'd love to see a broken nail than a broken ankle right there with my next guest, who's amazing. And I never forget a face, I can tell you that. And I never forget a personality. And this person was fortunate enough to come back on here. And because she doesn't remember meeting me about probably 15 years ago. She was a pro at T-Bar. She's bounced around for a while. She's in Kansas City, which is, where I was born. All my family still lives in Overland Park, which I believe that's where you were stationed. And I'm trying to, oh man, where's it? She is, this is happening right now. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Okay. All right. So here's what's happening is she's been working the Dallas tennis industry and previously at the well-respected club of T-Bar in Dallas. I was there as well. It's a great facility, good staff, as well as Canyon Creek Country Club, another great facility in Richardson, Texas. She was director of 10 Under program, which is very, very important to any program. It doesn't matter where you're at or what you're teaching. Pickleball, two people. At Elite Squad Tennis Club in Overland Park, Kansas, which is where my family lives. And she's a Division I tennis player and the owner of Pickleball Paradise. Pickleball Paradise. That's a lot of alliteration right there. In Midlothian, right? It is the Michelle
Correct.
Cornish. How you doing, young lady?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me come on.
She still acts the same as hilarious. She's like, "I don't remember meeting you." Just go with it. I'm not making it up. So anyway, she's my new bestie, and I was born in Pickett, and here's Michelle Cornish. Michelle, how are you, man?
I'm doing really well. Yeah, it's January, and I'm sitting outside, and then the background, they can't really see it, are my courts. So I've got some people playing pickleball out there, and
I love that noise.
And so can't complain about anything.
Well, good for you. Well, so let's get right into it here. When did you get into pickleball?
So I got into pickleball literally by accident, and I say that a little bit of tongue in cheek because.
Okay. We'll have to reset this just like in pickleball. Oh, hey, is that like a pickleball court that's around the thing around the TV right there? It's cool. Seems like we lost her.
Yeah, she froze up.
That's cool.
We have to log back in.
Yeah. Well, this will be on the record.
T-boned in my car on the passenger side after teaching about 14 hours on the tennis court.
Okay. So hey, Michelle,
okay. Can you see me?
We can see you. We lost everything you were saying because you're walking around.
So now I'm trying to get to a better place, but it looked like it was all good today, but apparently we're going to get some trouble.
That's free and spin. It's all right. It happens all the time. I'm not that good at looking anyway, so I don't blame you. So we lost you at, you said you found it on accident, and let's go from there because that's exactly what happened to me.
Correct. I actually found it by accident with being in a car accident. And when I was in the car accident, I was T-boned by a car that was going about 55 miles an hour. And unfortunately, that broke everything in my dominant arm, my wrist in 3 places, my hand, and all my fingers after teaching 14 hours on the tennis court that day. So needless to say, it rocked my world because this has been my livelihood and life since I was 7, was being on the courts for tennis, and changed a lot of things in my world. So I went from that to going more off court, but wanting to still be in the industry. And so I took a job with On Court Off Court as their business development director.
Very good.
And then I kind of started doing everything and pretending like I was a pickleball person. So I walked the walk, talked the talk.
Got to do it.
And still was in the tennis world and got to do conferences and tournaments and presentations and everything all over the country, even the world, doing that. And so that was kind of my introduction to it. I actually ended up one day having a meeting with the then CEO of Pickleball Central, Edward. And when I did that, I told him that I was a tennis player and I was going to walk the walk and talk the talk, and I'd sell the crud out of anything that we needed to sell for pickleball and help support them. But I was a tennis player and I wasn't selling myself to the devil. After about 3 hours of him talking to me.
What'd you just?
Yep, I did. So he said, "Sit down, little lady," and he talked to me about 3 hours. Very passionate about his pickleball love. And after he finished talking, I stood up and shook his hand, and I said, "Well, apparently, I just met the devil." And that evening, he had me out on the pickleball courts, and that's how it kind of started for me to really actually enjoy playing.
That is
got lucky.
No. You were the right person, the right time, and that doesn't happen too often. I've learned that the hard way, like we all have in our, like we all have in the racket sports profession. But the premise of the show, like I've told people, because this show I have now, I did what you did. I was asked in a bad day at a club. I was having a bad day because I just one of those days where it doesn't work out, and I thought this dude was messing with me, and he kept asking me, if you want to show, I'm like, I don't even know what a podcast show is. And by the third or fourth time, I said, all right, I'll do it, whatever, like I know what I'm doing. And I had no idea what I was doing. I told him, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. He goes, just go in there, be yourself. Just like you're like, except I sold my soul to, I'm blessed to have this, but I'm saying what you have. So, and also the Green Hill situation. I mean, we both of us, I believe we walked away from, there's nothing wrong with the places we were at. It just wasn't our fit. And we did as much as we could and we moved on. And I did that and I don't regret it. And I know I probably could have stayed and made a lot of money at some of these places, but it just wasn't a fit, right? I was the wrong person in the right spot. I need to be the right person in the right spot. So that's awesome about how you got into pickleball. Yeah. It's all about story.
So we get to see how it evolves and get to have fun with it.
Yep.
See challenges.
Yep. So, so you said, okay, so you're I see your stuff online. Look at it. I'm going to come out there one day. I promise. I just want to make sure you like me before I get out there and you say you get the bouncer say no, you can't come in.
Come on. You got to get on the courts if you're going to come out.
I am on the courts, and so anyway, I'm doing tennis and pickleball right now. So you got to work with me here a little bit. So how'd you get to create your programs and camps and all that? What made you think of all that stuff?
Yeah. So basically my programming, just like you said, I mean, it's important to have your programming for tennis, for, pickleball, for, any of your sports that you're doing. You're trying to get passion built with people.
Yep.
So that was pretty much based on the fact that for years I've been doing this.
Yep.
And trying to get in a better place where you can actually see me.
So basically you're saying that you were cutting out
my programming experience from 10 to under 10, sure your curriculum's fresh. Oops, now you're breaking up on me.
All right. So I'm just sitting here. So she's trying to get rid of me. No. But basically you're walking, trying to find a good spot, which is totally understandable. You're very busy. But from what I can summarize, you basically, that's a big word for me, by the way. But what I can summarize is that you believe in combining tennis and pickleball, and having fun at them
Yeah.
at the same place, and they both can flourish together. I'm a big believer in that. I believe you are as well. They both can flourish together, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And being that I enjoy all of my friends and family within tennis, I hope I'm not frozen. I do feel like that is I like to ask my friends. I like to ask the people I consider family for their advice.
Yep. Yeah, they'll give you good feedback.
And I think that, what I love the most is being there in person, be able to see people do. So if I have the opportunity to see someone give a presentation or a talk where they're actually doing on court stuff, that's really my key thing that I really like doing the most.
Mm-hmm. Just staying up to par with what's going on in the industry. Yeah, that's good. So with your staff, how big is your staff? I don't even know. Do you have
my staff is right now pretty much just me. I actually have people come in and we'll do clinics that are kind of more of a one-off type of thing. I'm actually talking with some of the pros in the industry so that I can do camps out here, keep the blood fresh, if you will, and enjoy kind of with people, just coming off and on to the courts and helping me out. But for the most part, it's me teaching on my 4-court facility and enjoying it as much as possible with all the new people.
So you have 4 courts. I mean, listen, this is the truth. I looked at your website and I'm like, it's amazing the facility you have and all the programming you do on there. That was always my dream, but I've come to this realization. I don't think I'm going to get my own facility, but I got other things that are going on, which I'm very happy with, but and
it has to be the right.
Exactly.
It was always a little girl's dream of mine to have my own facility.
Well, you did a good job. You got a nice
I've done it with other people all the time.
No, you've been pretty. From what I remember, you've always been very happy and honest and hardworking. I do know that. And
thank you.
You're the same. I mean, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up.
Thank you. I do appreciate that.
Because some of the people do remember.
Love.
Oh well, so what the Reeses say about you, James and Courtney, and obviously some of the staff at T-Rod's been there for a while. What can you say? You've been there for so long, you've done so much, and that's good. And that's when I knew you were going to be a good person because I tell people, the people I come on the show, I hide them. It's more of like a referral, but they have to be held to high regard. You know what I mean? And I'm not being snobby. I'll take somebody off. They got to care about what they're doing,
right.
And Lord knows. When did you start Pickleball Paradise? I'm sorry. Just confirm. Tell us about it real quick. Tell us. I'm sorry. Tell us about it.
I actually started it in spring of 2021, but really it wasn't full going until about November of 2021.
Oh, so a year and a half. Okay, great. So you're still. Oh, that's fantastic.
Still building. Oh. And really, when I came out to Midlothian area, it's only 30 minutes south of downtown Dallas.
Yep.
But really, most people looked at me when I would speak around the community about pickleball. They would look at me like I had 12 heads. They'd be like, "Pickle what?"
Doesn't that just drive you more? Doesn't that make you succeed more and more?
Yeah, and so now it's just, week by week.
Yeah.
There's more people that have found out, oh my gosh, this is this big thing that's going on everywhere else in the world. And so let's try to figure out how to get involved in it. So what's really been fun is I literally can feel like I'm building a pickleball community because most of the people have never held a paddle before they come out here. And then all of a sudden they're hooked and addicted like the rest of us and wanting to come out here as much as possible and bring their friends. And so organically that helps grow the right kind of, community that you want to have.
I love it, man. Golly, I know my producer's listening, man, but this is the best time I've had. Knock on wood. I'm like, unless I totally screw this up, knock on wood. This has been 2 amazing stories in a row. they're all amazing stories. They're all awesome, but these 2, just the passion, I could just see it. And it really makes me happy. Because the thing that people are going to understand with pickleball pros is that it's really not easy. Because you're raised like I was. You had to play college. If you're going to get certified, you got to play men's open or women's open throughout. You got to get. I did all that forever, and I enjoyed it. But that's why I became a pro. And then it kind of gets bigger. And when it gets bigger, you have more people that want to become pros and things just get pushed to the side. Pickleball, same thing. It's like people looked at me and they're like, you really think this is going to go somewhere? And I say, I don't think, I know. And you know, I'm a horrible liar. I know it's going to go somewhere. And like I told everybody, it's because I started playing with my dad in 90. He and I, last time we played tennis was in 1997 on court. And I got asked at Royal Oaks when I started there in 2018, fresh being out of tennis full time. Do you want to do it? And my buddy, my director at the time, Jeff Edge, I said, yeah, I want to do it. He goes, really? I'm like, why the hell not? I mean, I've done everything else. This is something awesome. I want to do this. And I went in there being selfish, thinking, I just want the paddles. I want to hit with my dad and see what's going on. And so my dad's big old left-handed. And unfortunately, he fell and stopped playing, but he's okay. But that's how I got into it. And then all these things started happening. I was traveling to these 55 plus communities, and Del Webb had a contract with 2 of their places, and that was in Aubrey, and that was in McKinney, and I live in Dallas, and I could never find a spot. And I didn't go back to Royal Oaks, which I enjoyed, and it's an amazing facility there. We had that director on a few months back, and
he's great.
Oh yeah, and then the T-bar thing, they wish them the best of luck. They're going to do fine. They got Tam there. And Green Hill's like, dude, here you go. And I'm just like, where have you been? And anyway, and then I get my show in. And so I get to hopefully travel around more and see stuff like with you and stuff like that. And so pickleball's the way it is. I'm sorry. I just like your story. It makes me very happy. It sounds weird, but whatever.
Thank you.
So, hypnosis. And so then, what do you use a certain paddle company right now, or do you kind of go around?
I actually am a Rebel. I'm a Babolat Rebel ambassador. So
really?
I Babolat for years and years.
Nothing wrong
for
with that.
Side of things, because the club that I was at in Overland Park is the home club of Jack Sock. And so we always had the Babolats. And then that just kind of continued on. And I played with the national marketing director on the tennis team. And so they got me in on doing the ambassador stuff. And so I fully work with them. I'm fortunate to be able to go to things like nationals and work with them at the Pickleball Central little, the big booth, big type of shop they pop up. So
you're big time, man. You're big time.
Literally fortunate.
You really are, which is awesome.
The cool is that I've got one company, one brand, to be able to demo with all the people that come in. And again, most of the people have never held a paddle in their hands. So I tell all of my people to come out for their intro clinics and to get started, not to worry about buying a paddle. Don't rush out. And, I want to make sure that you're in this and that you actually just want to come for an introduction. Of course, I know that they're going to fall in love with it. So once they're here, we can go over the demo paddles and what they kind of gravitate towards on the different ones. So, and, from there, it's mostly size and weight and things like that. So
you being a former collegiate player and playing a lot of tennis like I did, like we all, man, that was always a prerequisite when you first get to Brookings. You got to play the juniors. I'm like, I just spent 4 years in college. I don't want to, but you have to. And so I think they don't do it as much as they used to when we were growing up. I knew you had to do it. We had to do that. And anyway, so what do you feel about the paddles? Do you feel like they're similar to rackets as with regards to the sweet spot, or what are your kind of? And again, I'm not judging you. I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
I am a big believer in the sweet spot still. Nice. And not only do I feel like it's an important part to be talking about because of the paddles and what paddles you're going to buy, but I'm a big believer in that hand-eye coordination thing and actually tracking the ball with your eyes. And if you're tracking to watch it bounce and hit at, on both sides of things, you're going to most likely hit a lot better in the sweet spot. But more importantly, you're tracking the ball and your body's naturally moving to where the ball is going. So then that hand-eye coordination with the sweet spot and trying to get it actually helps us move less on the court versus more, because we know which direction we're supposed to be going faster. So big believer in the sweet spot. And I still am always going to have that nostalgic feeling of being a tennis player and hitting the sweet spot and the noise that comes from it. So I like when I have paddles that seem to have a popping kind of noise, because it sounds good.
Okay, so here's the deal, guys. Michelle makes me want to take lessons from her, and she makes me feel like I don't know shit, but I love her.
I love teaching.
That was no, you think? I mean, my God, I just learned something right there. No, you're passionate. That's what I love. You know, have you ever met Matt Lazarine? You ever met Matt? You know,
I have met him, but I don't know him very well.
Okay. Well, he's kind of my mentor. I'm a certified level 2 with IPTPA, and he's my mentor, and he's trained me. He's just a wealth of knowledge for me. And, you know, like you said, tracking the ball, you know, one of the things I heard that really is cool, you know, we were taught to, you know, watch the ball until it leaves the racket. You know, one of the things I really like about pickleball and teach the entry level is I love telling them to watch the ball hit the ground, watch the ball hit the paddle, watch the ball leave the paddle. And I know that sounds basic, but it is amazing because the adults, they're just big kids, right? Right?
Yep.
We're big kids. And all those verbal cues, because I'm big on this. I'm very big on verbal cues because of ADHD. I'm not kidding when I say that. It helps you focus on just staying in the moment longer, you know. And I love that that is just a great description. So I'm going to record that. It's already recorded. So it's going to go around the world, Michelle. Everybody's going to know about you and your teaching style, which is what we want. All right. So let's go on to the next question here. You're doing great. You having fun?
Yes, of course.
Shut up. Of course. Okay.
Get to talk about stuff on the court.
There you go. So let's see here. So we got you did that. Do you a big believer in certifications? There's no right or wrong answer there on IPTPA. Going to be PPR. What are you?
I was previously the Texas for USPTA. I was the certification person for USPTA. So I do believe a lot in certifications. And that was within pickleball, not with tennis. But I also did stuff with tennis with the certifications. I have done stuff with PTR and PPR. I'm certified on both sides. I really believe a lot in the certifications for purposes of making sure that we're keeping current, mostly.
Right.
But then on the flip side of that, I think it's even more important to do your continued education than it is for the certifications, because you really need to be present to do them. And we went a lot online because we had to with COVID and stuff. But I get more energy from being at a presentation, listening to someone that has knowledge or experience and can share with that than I do doing anything else. And so sometimes, you know, when you're just trying to get your certification for the box so that you can put it on your resume, it doesn't really do as much as just being really involved and, you know, hands-on stuff. But certifications are important.
And again, I think
us know that we, you know, the background checks are important, and you know, who's on the court with kids and adults. So that's important too.
Well, I think it's great. Regardless, it's your facility, it's your program, and you're taking ownership of it. And I respect that. I've always been certified more and more, and I've had to let some of my things lax because of a financial thing. But you know, that's how it works with some of us. But in general, they're all back, going to be up to date here. They're up to date in a month because I've been waiting on it. But I think it's important. But everybody has their own belief. But I like what you said about it keeps them current and relevant, and I think that's great. And I believe that every program is unique. Because I've been a part of I've helped build several programs, just like you were able to at your previous stops. But my last last 5, some of them are independent courts at these like Lake Forest or like you know where Lake Forest is off Forest and 635, whatever, that nice area, and then Glen Lakes and some other places like that. And you know it's stops, and I have to create something. And if someone's taking over, go for it. Good luck, you know. And I believe this is my final stop here, though. But I think it's great what you're doing, and I think it's important. I know. I don't think I hate when I say that. So, and then what about your staff? You said it's just you, right? It's just you. You're out
just me. Just me for the most part, except for, you know, having some people come in here and there for some clinics. I'm going to be hopefully ramping that up a lot more in the spring and summer to be able to have people come out to help me with camps or to help with, you know, certain clinics, specialty clinics. I'm launching a new ball machine clinic type of thing where it's I'm working actually with the company Hartrue,
Nice.
who recently acquired the lobster machine.
Oh yeah.
So they've sent me a few machines, and we're doing some trial of some different programs. So I'm working with a variety of different programs for different reasons, and all the way from people that are coming back from injuries to memory care type of people that are, having trouble with maybe remembering things, and the scoring's harder, and, things like that, but they still can come out and be active. So just working on a whole bunch of different things like that I can utilize doing it myself, or having some helpers come out and help me with it. So
that's great. So really, sir, do you play that much? You're just on court a lot. I'm not playing as much as I want to, but starting in the summer, I'm
don't play near as much as I want to, fully competitively. I mean, of course, I get out there whenever it's needed for me to jump in and make up numbers, which is great because I have that ability, since it's my place, that I can be like, oh, someone didn't show, or someone's running late. And so I get to do a lot of that. I did get to go to nationals for singles this year. And I do hope to play more singles, going in the spring and summer, really starting to pick that up a lot more. Mainly because it's really hard to have your partner need to practice with you when you're, kind of tied to starting up a business and running it and making sure everybody else is on the court and playing. But I play with my son mixed doubles, which is awesome because he enjoys playing with me. And he's 23 now and a former high-level tennis player. And so he is, really fun to play with, of course, and can get to all balls I think I can get to, but I can't as well anymore. But we get to play, 19 plus, which is a whole different ball game.
Oh, wow. 19 plus.
A lot of fun.
What does that mean when you say, let our listeners, first of all, tell us about national. Listeners are going to want to know that. How'd you do at nationals? What was it?
Nationals was, if you get an opportunity to play nationals, you definitely do it.
And that was where was that at?
Out there doing some presentation stuff and working with Pickleball Central with Babelot. So it was like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to go and play. Great experience. Just being at a place that is such a big venue. And of course I've been there many times for tennis in March when they do the BNP, but the nationals with pickleball, they change up all the courts, they redo them. It's beautiful, and the energy is just so alive there, and the music's going around the speakers and the announcers and stuff like that. So just a lot of great energy, and then of course you get to pop off the court and then go watch the pros, and you're pretty much like sitting on the court with them. There was a couple times I'm pretty sure that Jay and Jocelyn is what I want to call him. Jay was playing, and I'm pretty sure he wanted to tell me to get off the court because my feet were practically on the court from and stuff when he was playing with Tyson.
You go, what?
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm kind of right out there. So it's just a neat energy. I highly recommend people going, not even to try to play. I mean, if that's not going to be in the cards, just go for one of those big tournaments because the energy level is just so much fun.
It is fun. Those tournaments are a lot. I went to Texas Open a few months back. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's see here. So of all your endeavors right now, what's your current focus in the sport of pickleball?
Current focus right now is building the pickleball community up and continuing to help it evolve and expose as many people as possible. Because just like my passion for the 10 and under tennis, my belief all through that was, if you want to become a higher level player, if you want to, pursue different things and different goals, then great. I'm here to help you get there. But also the part of just, if you want to come out and play recreationally, get some, good exercise, have fun. There's a place for you for that as well in pickleball. So it's just more of just trying to grow the community.
That's what I'm doing here in Dallas. And ironically enough, whether you believe it or not, it's actually starting to happen. I've got Brandon French is going to come on. I got some surprises coming on, and I love that you're doing that out there. And I'm going to come out. I'm going to invite myself out there. So whatever. You're welcome anytime. So that's just building the community there in Midlothian. That's great.
Yeah, and just we are seeing it evolve. The game's evolving so quickly, and so just keeping up with that, the changes of what the sport's doing. And it has to be kind of kept, you have to keep your pulse on it the whole time, because there's a lot of changes going on.
Yeah. I like that. We're not going to talk about that yet. I'm not going down that road, because I already know it's pickleball related, but it'll be something we'll talk about. I'm getting more and more organized, and getting more and more of a craft with this awesome show that we have here. And I watched that Major League Pickleball draft. It was different to me because it was cool, but I could see it being a regular huge part of our show here, as well as the Senior Pickleball Leagues, SPL. That SPA, sorry, Senior Pickleball Association. I forgot. I'm sorry, Rick. I love you. He was just on a minute ago. He called us. But anyway,
I know. How fun is that? I have a lot of my members that have started saying things about, like, I think I want to go, when I retire, I want to try to go for, senior pros, and I want to go into, travel more and do, and how cool is that people can go, I want to talk about turning pro when I'm in the later part, or more mature years, instead of, I'm 17 years old and I got to make a decision, like, can I do this, that kind of thing. So
I'm sending you
I think it's pretty cool.
This is in cahoots with what we're talking about. I'm saying this right now. It's the NPL information release. It's basically what you're talking about. It's a term that these people can play, that if they do good enough, they can get a spot on like, I played junior college because my grades were terrible, so I played junior colleges, and went to OU in the southeastern Oklahoma, and then went to anyway, graduated there. But the point is, I had to start small, and that's why I think every league is as important as the next. And they can if they're good in this tournament, they can bounce in that league and get on a team, which is totally cool. Sorry,
so cool.
I get excited about
so
that.
Fun.
But anyway, I sent it to you. So you having fun yet, or is it not boring you? Hope I'm not boring you.
Nope, I'm all good. Again, we're talking about stuff on the court and the passion of it. I mean, we get to do fun things for a living.
Let's talk about you. So let's see your family, where you're from, your brothers, sisters, kids, pets, plants. What you got?
Well, I have one sister that was a top tennis player through juniors. She was like in the top 10 in the country. So she was my baby sister that I was very, very proud of getting better than me and could beat me. Because that.
What was her name?
The goal. Danielle.
Oh, wow.
So Danielle Knipp is what we were back in the day. But yeah, so that I have one sister. My parents are back in Topeka, Kansas. So they live there. So I still have my in Kansas. Yeah. And then I ended up marrying an Englishman in college that played college tennis as well with me at Wichita State. And we have 2 kids. We have one daughter that's getting ready to get married. That's almost 27. And a son that's 23. So we've got 2 beautiful kids. Son plays pickleball. Daughter was a very, very high, well, she left home at 15 for our ballet, classical ballet.
Wow.
So totally different spectrum than my world, than I knew, but I signed her up for the pink tutu at 3. And then all of a sudden that's where that went, and the passion. And then our son played tennis as well, and enjoyed that, and got to do a lot of, great experiences from being an athlete growing up, and was online schooled through T-Bar for the last years. Before that at Elite Squad tennis, they had a program there that they kind of blended the homeschooling, and then he went to regular school. And so, yeah, we've been around a lot. Great. This is my 22nd home that I'm living in, and plan on it being the last.
Good
home.
For you, man. It should, because you're doing a damn good job out there. I'm telling you.
I think I'm going to need to be here for a while.
I wouldn't go anywhere. I wouldn't. I heard a lot of good things about you.
Yep.
So let's see here. That's good to know. So let's talk about this. So we already done that. What is your favorite shot?
Favorite shot is return of serve.
The return of serve?
Yep.
Oh, mine's the lob.
Oh, lob is fun.
Hey, man. Simone said it was her favorite shot, too. Did you see that on Instagram? She's Simone. I can't say her last name. I apologize.
Simone Jardine. Yeah.
Yes. She says the lob. And I dropped that. I'm like, see? Everybody thought it was crazy. But when you get up there and you can hit those, just not all the time. But even Ben Paquette said the same thing. He's like, I like my lob. I just like that one offensive lob that's the surprise to that. If you're right-handed, to that the outside corner, and you either get back on the point or you win the point. That's my favorite shot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lob is I was lob queen in tennis because I was just gonna fight for the points more than the other person wanted to fight. It wasn't pure talent or anything. It was just
shut up. You're good. Don't say
rival. Like
I've seen you play. That's not correct. So we're going to move on to the next segment. It's what I call In the Kitchen.
Yep.
So it's your favorite band and song right now. My favorite band is I'm a big music buff as far as vinyl comes and high-end stereos and stuff. All my bros and my dad are. Their LPs sound like crap because they're too bright, they're too high. But Oasis, I started playing Master Plan, which is all their B-sides and rarities that came out in I think 98 or 99.
Yep.
Great album. What are you jamming to? Doesn't matter what it is. It could be something you did today, something that pops your mind right now, whatever
I've gone back to listen quite a bit to a song that I just had heard not that long ago, but I really like it. And it's by a band called Cadillac 3.
Yeah.
It's Tabasco and Sweet Tea.
Nice, dude. Who are they called? I'm going to write this down. I've never heard of this. What are they called?
Cadillac 3.
Say it one more time. Sorry, you cut out.
Cadillac 3.
Cadillac 3. Tabasco and tea. Nice. I like that. See, I like to hear that stuff because this is something that somebody comes on, and ideally what happens is when this gets bigger, it's going to be awesome. Everything that's going on with pickleball here with you and me, and people see what we listen to because some of the stuff I listen to nobody's even heard of, and I've never heard of that. I like that. I think that's great. So, with your favorite movie that you're watching now with you and your hubs or your kids or your besties or what or Netflix series?
My favorite movie of all time that I watched a million times is called Drop Dead Fred.
Oh yeah, man! I love that movie. Was Winona Ryder? Was it Winona Ryder?
No, it's Phoebe Kate.
Okay, whatever. Sorry, Phoebe. Yeah.
She was fabulous in it. But about imaginary friend and being a grown up, and the imaginary friend comes back. So kind of a needed thing, but also kind of a nightmare thing. Always got her in trouble. So I love that. And then of course, just like most people, because I don't get a chance to watch a lot of TV or spend a lot of time on downtime, but when I do, we watched Yellowstone.
Yes, that's what the guy said a minute ago. I've heard that a lot. That's good. We watch.
I mean, I know I live in the country, and I kind of gotta support my rips.
From Texas. From Topeka,
Yeah.
Kansas. Come on, you're a Midwest girl. You gotta like a little bit of that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I've been around in different places, but gotta have your country boy rip fix. And
Mel's and my wife's in love with the singer on there. Was it Ryan Bingham? Is that what it is? They're screwing this up. He's the guy that's on there that has the hat. That's
the one that now got
he's the country singer. Yeah, I didn't say what happened so people don't listen to it. I didn't say what happened, but anyway, so that's good. I'm watching Meatballs. Remember that movie with Bill Murray?
Oh yeah,
I love it. It just doesn't matter. Remember that we started going to camp singing that. So
he's just a fantastic in so many different roles.
All right, so what I'm binging, I started watching Sneaky Pete. It's on Prime. I don't get to watch it too much, but it's got Giovanni Ribisi. Is that his name? He's, if you saw him, he's big. But my sister said that he reminds me a lot of that character reminds a lot of me, and I watched it. It's true. It's true. You got to be able to wing it sometimes to get away stuff. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. So, favorite teams, sports. Talk to me. Mine's the Chiefs and the Stars.
Chiefs. Yeah, I'm I've lived in Kansas City 4 different times.
So you're with me, sister. So. That's why you're my sister, because we've been through the highest highs, which is the past couple of years, but the lowest lows, which is the past 40 years. So
exactly.
I remember Marty Ball. Remember Marty Ball? Marty Shotton, bless his heart, rest in peace. Marty Shotton. Remember Marty Ball? Oh.
Yep.
Dave Krieg. Oh, I love you, Dave Krieg. And we're not going to go there. We're in Steve DeBerg, whatever. My dad went to the Super Bowl in 1970 with my Uncle Ronnie.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I didn't hear that till about 10 years ago. I'm 48. You hear these stories that creep in as you get older that you never thought your parents did.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. Have I told this before?
They are kind of. They were cool back in the day. What? All right. What's your favorite pet? Mine are our Labradoodle and our Havanese.
So I don't have any pets. We don't have any, but my son has. As soon as he got to be on his own, went straight for getting dogs, as I knew he would. So I have grand puppies.
Nothing wrong with that.
They are wonderful.
That's
and
awesome.
He's got an Australian Shepherd and
awesome
a Border
dogs.
Collie.
Good
and
dogs.
they are I spoil them rotten.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
So
I just,
they're your
yep.
babies.
And
That's all there is to it.
no one can tell me not to. So
That's the beauty of being a grandparent. You can do
That's
you can do
right.
whatever the hell you want. That's what my mother-in-law said when they had her kids, everyone. And not that way, obviously. This is my last question. It's my favorite question. And I remember when I first asked this, I like to see people's reactions, but since I'm sending run sheets now, which I have been from day one, but what is something that people don't know about you that's unique or weird? I'll tell you what mine is, and you can think about it.
Okay.
Mine is I've read all of R.A. Salvatore's books. It's just stupid stuff. Like middle school, high school. He was a dark elf and Drizzt Do'Urden. And yeah, I haven't told anybody that. Not even my wife. I swear I haven't. She's like, what the hell is that? I was like, I get in the attic and I pull down these books. I swear to you, I'm not lying. Talk to me. What do you think?
Well, so some people know this, but not very many. But a couple people have maybe gone with me and done this. But one of my favorite things to do ever is to go to a Walmart that's a 24-hour Walmart in the middle of the night and play in the toy section.
That is so awesome and awkward at the same time. I love it. Let's do it.
You know,
let's go.
Tricycles. There's just so much that you can do.
So basically, you're reliving the movie Big, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Basically going back to being a kid. And I'm pretty sure I haven't figured out how to really grow up yet, but definitely I get to pretend when I.
No, hell no, you don't have to.
Morning and they just don't really bother you. They're like, oh, let her be silly. So
You've raised two amazing children, and you got a great spouse, and you got a good life, so you can do the hell you want. It's funny because I think my mom said this years ago. When we first had my parents, we have two brothers and a sister, and my parents have 12 kids between them. Garner was our oldest son. He was the first grandkid on both sides of the family. And I remember sitting down with mom, and she was excited, and she said, they're watching you grow up too. And I was like, what? Really? I mean, she's being sarcastic. I was gave me a hug, and it didn't really sink in, but it's like they're gonna make us make mistakes. We don't know how to parent, but you know what I mean? There's no book, but like you said, we're all growing up too. Anyway, I thought that was cool. Well, look, man, we're gonna wrap this up because I want you to get back on that pickleball court and make pickleball paradise a bigger paradise than it already is. But for those these professional, for the pros or the future pros or current pros of pickleball, even tennis and viewers, if they're in Arlington and they want to take a day to go to Pickleball Paradise and then go to a Rangers game or go somewhere or go to Chicken and Pickle, they go there first to warm up and you show them how to play. And then when they go there to dominate, you win.
Pickle has done a lot for people finding out that they want to find out if pickleball is anywhere near us here. Mm-hmm. So I'll get people call a lot of saying that they went to a work thing or things like that.
Yeah, that's what
I do those things as well. I rent out all my courts for parties, and
so that was my next question. Are you ready for this?
Ones I've done, team building, birthday parties for kids and adults. Now I've had, so I actually had a networking one in October, and we had upwards of 100 people that came out, which was fabulous, and they did all food and music and all, real cool. It was very fun. So I hope to do a lot more of those kind of things because it brought a lot of people out from the businesses in the area that didn't even know I was here, or they didn't know what pickleball really was, or hadn't had a chance to try it. So it was a good way to be able to go it. But yeah, I'm 30 minutes south of downtown Dallas, basically. So I'm right off of the highway. So even though it feels like I'm out in the country because it's very serene back here, and you can't see the courts when you come into the property at all. It's very hidden back there. But I'm about less than 2 miles from 35 when you are going south towards Austin. So very easy for people to get to. And then, hopefully want to come back and stay and do different things, because different events and obviously open plays and things like that. A lot of times people are trying to find different places to play. So they play some different people before tournaments and things like that. And events, I did breakfast at Paradise instead of breakfast at Wimbledon, but did the whole whites and served Pims and strawberries and cream and
play with
all
wooden
that
paddles.
yeah. I mean, you have to have fun, and I'm a big anything I can do in costumes, I'm there. So like theme parties, love it.
Okay, so this leads into my next question. With that, how do they get in touch with you? Email, phone number, how? Let them know that's how they get in touch with you to do this.
My website is pickleballparadise.tx.com. So that's the way that people can start on doing it. Of course, Google is your friend, and Pickleball Paradise comes up, whenever you just do a Google search, which is helpful. And then otherwise, my email address, pickleballparadise@gmail.com. And then my phone number is on my website as well. So everybody can call me and text me and just get on out here.
So for those of you listening, this Pickleball Paradise is a very intimate setting. It's where I would like to go if I did stuff with friends and families. And it really is. It's set back very quietly, and it's good for if you want to stay somewhere outside of Midlothian, go there for a day. They could probably spend a day there, right? And then I'm sure you could probably help there out the lodgings and stuff like that.
Because we really didn't know what Midlothian had to offer, or Waxahachie, because we were like right in the middle of that.
It's nice, not bad area. Nice.
And there's actually so much that is around here. We've got great shopping, cute boutique type of shopping in both of the cities on both sides. Besides, and that we have a lot of really great restaurants and places to be able to come see. So get out in the country a little bit. Get out of the bus.
Well, that's it. And so the other place, there's other different places you can go to, but I'd recommend that one for a very small, awesome setting. And then closing here, we're going to close now, but would you like to come back on maybe or something like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe I come out there and we do a remote. We just do something fun like that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, we know how to get in touch with the Michelle Cornish, amazing Kansas alumni like me, born there. Now we're transplant. That's my dad called it. He's one of my, he's like my fourth or fifth show, but, he came on. But anyway, for those of you listening, thank you very much. And thanks for coming on, Michelle. I appreciate it. It took us I look back on our initial text thread. It was in August.
Kind of bad.
No. I'm not pushy. I'm persistent as hell, though. I'll tell you that.
It works. Sometimes you have to be with busy people. And
check out our Vocal Umbrella. We have plenty of apps there. People that can fit your mood for whatever you're in. Thanks for listening. And if you ever hear of Midlothian or you think about it, you email this young lady right here and her staff and say, come on, let's pickle. I want to come there. And that's how we do it. You have a great weekend. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Coming through.